constant uninterrupted power is another input that we need. And I'm not talking about commercial benefits or any commercial set-offs that we are looking for. But these are two main issues that we are grappling with and trying to find a solution to these two issues. So we start a manufacturing plant of a modest, let's say 200, 250 odd megawatts, employing close to, say, 2,000 people at a stable state. And if you are able to do this, I am pretty confident that we can scale this up to 1 gigawatt in just about 2 years' time, 2 years or 2.5 years' time. So we are watching this space very, very closely. We are a technology advanced company. We are right on top on the technology curve. Our modules are the most efficient in the marketplace. We are bankable with all the international banks anywhere in the world. We are existing for the last 14 years. We've installed close to 10 gigawatts of modules, now 11 gigawatts of modules all over the world. Another interesting space that we are looking at is the off-grid space in India, which presents a much, much bigger opportunity and much lesser known in the circles, because the large megawatt scales have kind of dwarfed the smaller installations. But this also projects a huge opportunity. Just to share with you, India has about 200,000 villages which have no electricity and do not have access to electricity for the next 5 to 10 years. So this itself gives a great opportunity to be present in this market space, and we are very much there, and I'm sure we'll find a way to address these markets. Thank you
Great,
very
thanks,
much.
Vinay. So when I was looking at this panel, I was trying to think, is there a common theme that runs through all of these companies, and how can we show innovation? And this is going to be a surprise to people, but water has been a topic of discussion here. And so I'm just wondering if, very quickly, if you could all share with the audience what you do in your industrial processes, or what you do and what ideas you might have in, say, 45 seconds, starting with you, Sumit, what you do to sort of innovatively use water in your plants.
See, using water in the plant innovatively, as a matter of fact, us is a small plant right now. And as I said that we started only 2 years back, and we have only one program to start with right now. And hence, particularly when you do machinings, and you have a lot of water and the coolant put together, which is used right now. And we would be building up something like a processing within ourselves, so that the coolant can be reused and the water can also be. And that is what we are thinking, in fact. And we are yet to be putting some processes, because we are very new right now. And going forward, certainly we have something in mind where we can use the water and the coolant, which has been used for machining applications. Yeah, thank you.
Well, ours is a mainly assembly plant, and the water usage in our plant is mainly restricted to the human usage. But looking at the requirement of that as well, we have our own water harvesting, because the complete landscape which is available to us in the two factories what we have in Gujarat, we can save a lot of water, and I think almost 60% of the water consumption that comes for the human requirement comes to the water harvesting that we adopted in our factories.
Great, thank you. Sanjay?
Well, we don't use water. We use wastewater, and we create water. So we're a little different from all of the rest.
From our perspective, like I dwelled on smart cities, I think one of the big areas for us is to bring the Middle East module that we have already implemented in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The drip technology that has been driven very successfully, and we've been successful in Gujarat and in Odisha. I think we see more potential in other states in India.
We use a lot of water. We use a lot of water. And water is one of the main ingredients for us to wash wafers, to wash silicon. So we pay a lot of attention to the consumption of water, and also water treatment, and finally water disposal. Uh, in India, we have very, very strong limits for water disposal, which is good for the environment. And now we are relying on a couple of technologies from Canadian companies to conserve water, to treat water, and to process water. So at the moment in China, we recycle all our water. We have water harvesting programs all over our installations in five or six of the installations that we have. And we have successfully managed water usage in China. We are, I would say we are one of the few companies that completely and conform to the environmental conditions in India also. We have not yet started operations in India, but we clearly see that we will easily comply to the requirements in India. In China too, we set standards which we follow in Canada, and in no way violate any of the environment norms. So that's what we do for water conservation.
Great, thank you. Questions from the audience for our panel? Do we have any questions? And remember, these folks are all keen to explain how they're bringing innovation and quality to the marketplace. So we have a question here, please.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, this is
Hello.
this is Sanjay really, but anybody else who can help can
Hello.
jump in.
60% of the water is.
Excuse me, sorry, just one question at a time. Perhaps you could stand up, Doctor? If you, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Thanks.
This is for Sanjay, but anybody else who can jump in. You know that the municipal corporations have made it compulsory for hospitals and other institutions like hotels to have their own sewage treatment plants. It's a headache. The biomedical part doesn't work. It's unreliable, stinks up the place. The other bit is very expensive. Also takes up a lot of space. Is there anything that you do can help us with these two issues? We have to have it on site. We can't have it off site, and we are connected. It's all over the metros. If you go to Bangalore, Chennai, Bombay, Delhi, you'll have the same problem.
To some extent, yes. When you're dealing with biomedical, there's a lot of hazardous material. So what we usually talk, when people come to me and ask this very same question, it's happened a few times, I suggest, as much as possible, if you can separate out the streams in your hospital, those coming from bathrooms, those coming from labs, operation theaters, etc., as much as possible. That will reduce the burden that you have to deal with. Because right now what's happening in many hospitals that I've seen, all the streams are merged. So the volume of wastewater that has to be treated specially has increased unnecessarily. Maybe that's a step. I agree with you that the hazardous material plants are not working. And honestly, there's nothing that can be done. The technology is there. It's a question of operating costs.
Can you help save space? Do make it
Yes.
smaller. Yeah.
We can if you are willing to separate the streams.
Was there another question? There was somebody else speaking?
Hello.
Yes.
This is the question for Mr. Dhingra.
I'm sorry. Could you stand up, please? Oh, there we are. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Dhingra has told that 60% of the water is being recycled. Actually, the daily consumption of fresh water will be only 40%. Am I right?
Yes, rightly, yes.
The total consumption. What are the sources that you use?
Normally, the water supply which is given by the municipal is something which we use, and then the underground water is also being used. That is why water harvesting becomes important for us.
Okay. You have water meters and you are daily checking that 60%?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you are auditing that. Okay, thank you.
One last question. Mr. Vinay, you had mentioned about the subject was water. So grid connected large solar panels need a lot of water for cleaning. How do you tackle this issue globally, and how do you propose to do it in India? Because most of the plants are situated in rural folks where water availability, both in quantity and quality, are a big constraint. So when India has a plan of thousands of gigawatt, how would this become a phenomenal issue in the days to come? Probably we need a program to tackle this. You have any lessons to India when you manage a large-scale operation maintenance of solar grid-connected panels around the globe? Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yes, solar panels in India, because of the dust accumulation on the panels, do need cleaning regularly. And we have found a good solution to do this. And basically what we did is we just implemented the solution that we succeeded in the US, and we did this in the Gujarat Solar Park. It's working absolutely fine, and I can share this with you offline. It's not an issue at all. We also have modules that are almost self-cleaning in nature. So that's because of the texturized glass that we use. And these modules, well, I won't say that they don't need cleaning at all, but they need very, very minimal cleaning. So I can share this with you offline. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have a little bit more time if there's any other questions from the audience. If not, I'm just going to ask Harsh to just tell us a little bit about what kind of innovations and improvements you've put in some of these metro cars to make it more user-friendly and comfortable for riders in Delhi, for example.
See, two other issues which has been seen in the Delhi is the noise and the vibration. When the metro system started in Delhi somewhere in 2002, there are a lot of noise which was generated from the metro trains because part of the trains are running underground and part on the elevated corridors, so noise was high. Vibration also wasn't higher, and as you know, the technology of metro is all evolving in India. It is already established in the European setup, but in India it is evolving. So there are a lot of interaction which has taken place between our organization as well as the operators, which is Delhi Metro and Indian Railways, who are also providing as a consultancy to them, especially on how the track improvement is done. The track installation and track improvement is done, and the padding of the tracks, which is currently being adopted by Delhi Metro, helps in reducing the vibration level as far as the train's vibrations are concerned. Similarly, on the noise side, now the kind of equipment which are being used on the trains, especially the noise are generated from the mechanical noise, which is motors, as well as on the air conditioning, which is on the trains. So newer technologies which has come in both this line has reduced the noise level to almost 2 to 3 dB level. And when I say 2 to 3 dB level, we are already at the threshold level. And the moment you reduce it by 2 to 3 dB, the benefit ultimately goes to the commuters. So that is what the technology advancement which has taken place. And the third thing which has also come in India is that earlier the metro was more on the conventional side, means heavy metros were there. Now we are coming with the light metros where the vehicle weight comes down. That means the structure, the civil structure which is there which has to be considered as elevated guideways, this also has come down. So city now will look more beautiful as compared to the concrete infrastructure which was created, as you must have seen in Chennai also, with heavy metro which are introduced in the Indian side.
And Bharat, maybe I could ask you finally, what sort of innovations or quality are you bringing as an engineering company? I mean, you've got to be pushing that envelope all the time. So what might be a couple of the best ideas you've brought to India?
Well, I think the two areas I continuously dwell is the planning for the city. I think we still are in a very nascent stage, but there are some examples like Navi Mumbai, for example, if anybody is familiar with that area. Clearly, that was the mapping which only 20% of what we suggested was implemented. Again, we intend that we will drive as much as we can because we have got significant experience all over the world, especially in the Middle East, which kind of emulates a lot more towards India in terms of, though it's not a desert area, there's a lot of water issues here. And we believe that planning through what they have done in the Middle East, a lot of this can actually be very well accepted in India. We have a panel of consultants who visit to India on a regular basis. We are part of the Prime Minister's office now in terms of planning commission as one of the contractors. And I think with AECOM, our intent is to extend that role further into the government. That's where we are.
Sir, one last question. If we can get a mic there quickly.
For planning for cities, there is a problem with water. Like California, India also got a lot of problems. Ideally, we are not planning for the subsoil water. Some studies have to be done for where the subsoil water is getting charged, what are the various forms and reasons. This type of studies is not there throughout the world. So I request you people to put it to the government that they have to plan for the water for eternity. That is important because there is a gravity flow of water where it is coming, all these things. Now, because of planning, all these things are blocked. So in another 5 years, 6 years, the water table goes down. So,
Great, thank you. Any last comments from panelists?
Just one note, for anybody interested in our technology, I'm presenting in Hall A as part of the Tamil Nadu water and energy session. So you'll get a bit more information there.
Great. Thank you very much, panelists. I didn't mean to turn this into a discussion on water, but it is topical in India for sure. And I think what we've demonstrated here, that Canadian companies are bringing innovative ideas and technologies, and they're well tuned into some of the needs of India, as I said in my opening remarks. And so one of the things that we're really driving on is to focus on Canadian companies are bringing innovation, they're bringing quality, and certainly they're looking to do business all across India, and certainly Tamil Nadu is a state that's keenly interested in it. So please find time to talk to our panelists and see if there's some business opportunities where you can partner with these great Canadian companies. Thanks very much, and I'll turn it back to Stanley for our third and final panel.
Laptop here. In order to keep on schedule, we have to vacate this room around 11:30. So I'd like very much to welcome my panelists, starting on the left, Dr. Seema, who is going to talk about her technology and the software that comes with it. Tenzing, of course, first time in Chennai, Tenzing? A lot of times. He knows this place well. Monsieur Marc, I think this is your first time in India. Welcome to India. And of course, I don't think this is your first time to India. No, Benoit. Okay, so this particular session focuses on how Canadian companies are innovating in the space of technology. IT today is really hard to get away from in any walk of life. You are almost obliged to make it part of your system. So, Dr. Seema, let me start with you. One of the things that you're doing differently is using technology in the area of patient care. Now, India is a world of IT. How do you differentiate yourself in this market?
IT has always been used in the hospital. Most of the cutting edge in surgeries are around developments in IT. However, the patient records, the data